What up, homies and homettes? This is Hazard on GameSpasm, and I just want to talk about Ironsworn. I just really like Ironsworn. Do I love Ironsworn? So close. I almost love it. I love Starforged. But I really like Ironsworn, and I've collected a fair amount of things for Ironsworn, so I thought, wouldn't it be fun to just do I'm gonna make a collection of videos, a showcase of videos that will be easy to make and just fun to share about the many wonderful things related to Ironsworn that I have found, including Ironsworn itself and the story of how I found Ironsworn and how basically this is the game that is responsible for introducing me to the joy of solo role-playing that I did not know existed. That I did not truly know existed until I found out about Ironsworn. So I want to talk about Ironsworn a little bit. This is really old news. This is not a new game. I don't remember what year it came out, but there's so many videos like this out there. But I don't care. I'm doing it because it's fun, and I like to play with my toys and show them off to other kids, which is basically what we're doing here. So let's do that. I suppose I have to put the microphone down. I can't just hold it like Gabby Bell the entire time. That was a bread tube reference, I think. Is that what you call that? Bread tube? Okay. I can't be too loud because Jenny's asleep. Like, there's a wall right there, and past that wall is a sleeping Jenny. And she doesn't take kindly to being made not sleeping anymore as a general rule. So you have to be careful about that. Okay, so this is let's talk about, first and foremost, let's talk about Ironsworn. I found out about Ironsworn because of 4 Against Darkness. I am a tabletop gamer. I am an avid, long-time tabletop gamer. If you look in there's an app for keeping track of tabletop games called BG Stats, and if you look at my all plays list, I have 1,385 board game plays in my BG Stats. So no spring chicken. However, my role-playing game experiences have been limited. I've played some D&D. I played some werewolf. I played some vampire. What else did I play? For RPGs, I hadn't played much really, and so I got into 4 Against Darkness. I found out about 4 Against Darkness from somebody on Board Game Geek, and immediately downloaded a ton of stuff for 4 Against Darkness, and it was okay. It was one of those things where you download a whole bunch of something before you even know whether or not you like it. Let's put this microphone closer, and that's what I did. So it was okay, and then I found D100 Dungeon, and I actually liked that a little bit more, just because it was one person to track, but more of the same. There's a YouTube channel I really like, A Man Alone. What's up, dude? He mentioned that he gave a very good description. He said that 4 Against Darkness and D100 Dungeon, they're kind of board games without boards. There's not really role-playing in them, in the same way that a role-playing video game, you're not really role-playing, you're not creating, and I know that solo role-playing is a different beast than regular role-playing, but good. I like that. I'm glad that it is. But so I was looking for stuff that was related to 4 Against Darkness. Somebody had mentioned Ironsworn, and this is where the thing where if it's free, you take it for granted. I remember looking it up and finding Ironsworn and seeing that playing it required cards, you had to use cards, and I was like, bleh, gross. I'm not printing cards. I don't want to make my own stuff. And so I didn't, and I totally ignored it. I downloaded it, had it on my hard drive, read through it a little bit, and I was like, I didn't really look at it, not really, and I didn't really get it, and I didn't understand what the point of it was, and so that was it. How did I find my way back to it? I have no idea. I think I was literally one day just going through stuff on my computer, and I opened Ironsworn, and I was like, holy shit, what is this? This is I had gotten a slight more taste of some role playing games, and then I started looking at it, and I was like, this is like legit. This is like the real deal. This is like an actual role playing game. And why is it free? Yeah, copyright 2018. This is probably too far away from you to. Can you see? Is there enough light? I don't know. There's a shadow. There's a giant shadow from the microphone, which, yeah, if I do this, you see. That's very professional. That's how I'm hiding the microphone from you, is with me. Anyways, this is better than the light I had before, so this'll have to do. I don't actually know if this is better or worse. Comment below. Anyways, I just couldn't believe how involved this was. This giant game, this huge PDF, right? You were talking 260 pages, and he was giving it away, right? And like, he had made it right before COVID. I didn't discover it until after really the thick of COVID. So I was so thrown. I was like, I can't believe this is a thing, and this is like a real thing. And then I started actually paying attention and looking around online and finding out that you don't need the cards, because there are like multiple things you can use online to show the assets. Really, the cards are just a convenience anyways for assets. You just really need the player sheet. It was also the first time I'd ever seen I'm sure this isn't the first time it's been done, but it's the first time I'd seen a player sheet where somebody had like made paper. Hold on. It was the first time that I'd seen somebody take like the player character sheet and then have paper clips along the edge to keep track of like supplies, where you just move the paper clip up and down on the sheet. And that was I don't know, that was so cool to me. We'll get more into this little artifact right here later. Anyways, so that really got me interested. So then I got into Ironsworn, and then I decided, I started looking into it, and then I found out in short order that there was an outer space version of there was an outer space version of Ironsworn, and I lost my shit, because it is my humble opinion that basically everything is better when it's in space, and it was in space, so obviously it was better. So I actually got into Starforged a lot before I got into Ironsworn. But that's a whole other thing. We're not talking about Starforged right now. I've got even more stuff for Starforged. But for Ironsworn, Starforged and Ironsworn are the first role-playing games that I was really like, gotta catch them all, gotta have all the stuff. And I owe it a debt of gratitude for helping me to like find a community, a network, a whole world of solo role playing that I didn't know existed. And now I just have tons of stuff. Oh, because there was mention of the Mythic Game Master emulator in here, and I was like, Mythic? What's Mythic? Oh man, Mythic is so much. Mythic is so much. And now I'm a Patreon a patron of Tana Pigeon, the creator of Mythic, who is currently working on a second edition of the Mythic role-playing game, which I'm rabbit trailing, sorry. So I've just got so much stuff for solo now, and I love a good, I love the tables, and I love the creation of it, and so yeah, I think there's so many people that don't know yet how fantastic this all is and how fantastic this all can be. So this first video is just gonna be, let's just talk. We're already at 9 minutes, and I'm not sure I've said a damn thing. Well, that's not true. I'm being harsh. I'm being unnecessarily harsh on myself. This I didn't actually get hard copies of Ironsworn and Ironsworn Delve until pretty recently. I did the Kickstarter for Sundered Isles, which is an expansion of Starforged, which is kind of an expansion of Ironsworn. It's Ironsworn, Starforged, Sundered Isles. Too many colons, Shawn. Too many colons. So I didn't have these for a while. I was operating off of the PDF for a while. But I'm so glad that I actually got the books. And then there's more too. I will just only briefly touch on this now, and then we'll get into all of these more later. But then there's also Iron Smith by Eric Bright, which is, look at this. come on, man. There is so much stuff. This is fantastic. If you're wondering what that is and what that is and what that is, those are bookmarks because bookmarks make... No, sorry. Those are business cards because business cards make great bookmarks. Look what happens when you use a business card as a bookmark and you're reading the book, right? It just like pops up and stays out of your way. Like, and it stays put. It's great. And it's small. It's handy. Look, and it has a picture of me when I weighed more. Yeah. So, anyways. So we'll get into Eric Bright's stuff, and we'll get into the a lot of the PDFs and things that I found for Ironsworn. The basis of Ironsworn is a role-playing game that was made from the ground up to be a solitaire game. You can run it with a GM, but it is best run in IMHO, solitaire or cooperative. I have not played Ironsworn cooperative. I've played a decent amount of Starforged cooperative, but I have played Ironsworn solo. I have no interest in playing them with a GM. I feel like that's going against the spirit of what they are. But here's the other thing, and this is what makes it so great. And Shawn Tomkin, I feel like he's just like came out of nowhere. By the way, I was watching a Man Alone video the other day, and he actually accidentally called him like Shawn Tomkinson, and I loved it. So now every time I think of Shawn Tomkin's name, I want to be like Shawn Tomkinson London. So Shawn Tomkinson London came out of nowhere, and he wrote. The reason this book is so fat is because he really does an amazing job. Look at the size of this table of contents, right? He does this amazing job of walking you through not just the mechanics of the game that he's created here, but how to play a solo role-playing game. Like, this is an amazing... I want to be clear. When people ask, like, is this a good place to start for a solo role player? Yes, absolutely. This is the best place. Like, this was my place. This is where I started with solo role playing, and because of the way that he wrote this, he basically was my teacher. He was the one that showed me how to solo role play. He gets into the basics of the game. By the way, the formatting is also really good too. The whole basis of this is a game that's powered by the apocalypse. There's a well-known now game called Apocalypse World where they created the concept of moves. Everything is a move. If you want to do something, you make a move. All the players make moves, and the GM didn't make a move unless the players, failed at a roll, and then the GM had a list of moves they could do. So he took that. He also has this system of dice rolling. Actually, that's not true. Not necessarily this system, the Starforged system. This system, though, is the beginning of this really sort of ingenious system for doing checks, oh my god, what am I calling them? We're calling them, a check, a skill check. There you go. Where you're rolling 2 dice, and they are your challenge dice, and you're rolling a d6. You're rolling 2 d10s as challenge, and a d6 plus your modifier to see if you beat it. If you roll higher, then you beat it. If you didn't, then you don't. Plain and simple. Wait, you have to beat it, right? It's not like action score is greater than. Yes. Because you can always fail. Like, even if you have a 10, you could roll 10s on the d10s, and then that's still a fail. But it also has the idea of a weak hit versus just a miss, which gives you the opportunity to narratively move forward. Wow, you probably already know all this. The concept of momentum is something you can build up. The idea of progress tracks is a way to decide whether you're succeeding and how far you're making at things. And the progress tracks, and he says right at the beginning that he was inspired very much by Mythic Game Master Emulator for the idea of progress tracks. But he very much made it his own. He made combat work in such a way. One of the problems I've learned about solo role-playing is that the combat is brutal, because the games are all designed for 4 people in a party, and so it's really hard. There's been so many people trying to make it so that you can play D&D, solo without just getting myrtleized right away by anything you come up against. And this game you don't have to worry about that at all. It's designed from the ground up to be for solo, And, it's not about hit points, it's about progress. Everything is about progress. In this game, you don't, as a character, I think people are so used to D&D where your stats just go up and up and up. And in this game, your stats don't go up. Like, once you make your character and you have your primary stats, that's it. They don't change for ever. You have them, right? You have your edge, heart, iron, shadow, and wits, and they will never change. What will change is your momentum, your well-being, the different abilities you might get, and your assets. And this is where the cards come in. So you have these cards that you can pick at the beginning of the game, and they all have different assets on them. And I originally did not have them, but like I said, as time went on and I got very Ash Ketchum-like, I decided I need to have one of everything. And so I did eventually go out and get myself the cards. And I believe he says that they're laminated in such a way that you can write on them, and then like with a wet erase marker, and then you could take it off. There's no way in hell there's no way in hell I'm doing that. So I don't. I put them in sleeves and write on them, or I put them in like a pocket, like a 3-ring binder pocket sheet, and then I write on them. But I don't write on them directly. But you have paths, which are like the type of character that you are, right? You have a whole bunch of paths. I didn't think, oh wait, hold on. And then you have combat talents, which are all related to the different ways. I should probably be doing this, right? The different ways that you can fight. Then you have companions, which are animals that you can, various creatures that you can have to come with you. Rituals are the closest thing to spells, because this is a very low fantasy, low magic setting. So you have all these cards, and in the use, I didn't think I would like these, but I do. I actually do like these. I like shopping through these rather than just looking through a list. It's kind of nice. It's like my Magic the Gathering DNA coming out, where I just want to look at these and make a choice. And it's actually fun during cooperative play to pass them around. It also makes it so that if somebody takes Infiltrator, then it's out of the deck and no other players have to wonder whether somebody else took it. It's gone, and you probably don't want more than one person taking that anyways. So you've got this, and you've got all these cards, and it's fantastic, right? And so without getting too much into it, because we're pushing 20 minutes here, the whole book, the whole point of the book is to be this instructional guide, right, of how to play Ironsworn, but also like how to play a role-playing game. So here we have the moves, right? And he gives you an example of how the moves work, and then he has they're broken into sections. So you have your adventure moves. Face danger when you attempt something risky. You're not even forced to use a specific stat most of the time. You use the one that makes sense in the situation. And if that means you want to, play in easy mode and always use your best stat, you can do that. It's not much fun, but you can do that. This is the game that taught me that failing and weak hits is what makes for a fun game. It's so good. It's such good stuff, right? So your adventure moves are facing danger, securing advantage, gathering information, healing, resupplying, making camp, undertaking a journey, which in this game is like always using wits. So, if you roll a dumb character, you're going to have a hard time getting around. Pro tip. And reaching your destination. So all of that in the original system of Ironsworn, all of those were adventure moves, right? Then you had your relationship moves, so this is how you interacted with people. And it's so clear and easy to find. Like, he uses this system of big boxes and bold font in Starforged too. It just makes it so easy to find what you're looking for. So you have your sojourn, your compel, your drawing the circle is doing a duel. There's nothing like this in Starforged, by the way. That one's uniquely Ironsworn. Forging a bond, testing that bond, aiding your ally, writing your epilogue. This is when you think when you're done, like you're retiring your character. Yeah, right. Then you've got all the straight up combat moves of entering the fray, striking, clashing, turning the tide, ending the fight. And then there's like other moves that you can use in combat. You can face danger and you can secure an advantage. You can compel, aid your ally. So what's interesting is that in Starforged, she actually made specific versions of these moves to use. Is my hair crazy? I gotta look really fast. I can't look fast enough to see it in the monitor. We'll never know. I suppose I could just drag the monitor over to the screen and then I'd be able to look at it at the same time. Yes, my hair is slightly crazy. Good job. All right. Well, that was super important, wasn't it? So here, you don't want to have a big fight. Here, you just do battle, and you just summarize it all to a single roll, which I find it very hard to do. I find it very, very hard to be willing to do that, to summarize everything into a single die roll. Anywho, right? And then you get your suffer moves, all the different ways that you can embrace the suck, right? Enduring harm, facing death, your companion enduring harm, taking stress, facing desolation, running out of stuff, having a setback. And then, this is kind of like the meat and potatoes of the system, is the quest moves, like how to make a vow, because the whole thing is based on vows, which is why you're Ironsworn. See what they did there? Quest moves, you reach a milestone, fulfill your vow, forsake your vow, advance. And then you have your fate moves. Now, fate moves are like pay the price, even like asking yes/no questions. He's got this under as a fate move. You can ask the oracle, and he tells you how. Like, do you just do yes and no, or do you do like a? He has like, instead of yes and no, you can say this or that, right? Pick two, right? Or spark an idea. You can use some other oracles, and then, right? He has this whole section here now where he just describes the Iron Lands, which is the world that he made up for this environment. Like, you can play, obviously, in whatever setting you want, but he gives you a setting and he gives you a background to it with some modular little tweaks, and he calls them truths that you can sort of pick at the beginning to tweak it to make it the way you want it. So you can always tweak everything to make it the way you want it, but I like that. I like having structure and variety, like structure and flexibility. Like, give me some, you know, when a game says like, hey, this person seems upset, what are they upset about? I don't like that as much, like, just on my own. But if you give me like some tables to roll on and some words to try to suss out, then it becomes great, right? It becomes puzzly. Oh, here are the truths, right? So these are the truths of the world. Right, so each of these, you can pick one of these, and they even have quest starters for each one. He gives you so many seeds and opportunities. I don't understand people who think that this is not a good place for starting solo RPG. I think it's like a love letter to the entire community. And he gave it away. Dude, he gave this game away for nothing. He still is. If you Google Ironsworn download, you can have the whole game for free. It's crazy. It's incredibly generous. Not the book, you can't have this for free, but you know what I mean. Shows you, gives you ideas on how to map your journeys. Then he tells you how the NPCs work. He gives you like a whole, little bestiary back here, and tells you like, how to work them, how they work mechanically. Here's a bunch of Ironlanders. Ironlanders is an awkward thing to say. You get your beasts, right? Your horrors. And each one's too have like your truth in there, right? Like, it gives you something related to the truths that you have and how you rolled things up. I really like that picture. I've always really liked that picture. I think it's really creepy. Do you think she'd go out with, no. Okay, and then the oracles. This is the first game, because again, I didn't know anything about Mythic. I didn't know anything about solo role-playing in general. This is the first game that I saw that had so many tables and oracles, and it was amazing, and I was flabbergasted by how much stuff he gave you. So he gives you like a little description of every single oracle in here, right? Which I like, because he puts the little description here, and then when you get here, it's just table after table after table. This is some of the most ingenious table stuff right here, the action and the theme. It gets even better in Starforged when he does descriptor and focus, but this one is great. This is just 100 different words on each table. Roll two together, right, and you will get something you can use. Let's go manipulate, enemy, fantastic, right? Like, work with that. Need to pick a random region or location, right? You want to give a description of the location. Here's 50 of them. Here's how to make a settlement name, and also help you come up with a background as to why it is that way, right? You have your quick settlement name generator. You need something to go wrong in a settlement. You need some adventure to go on. Here's a settlement trouble. Here's different character roles, their goals, their descriptors, their names, right? Here's some elf names, other names. If you're doing combat and you want to know what the bad guys are doing, here's some combat actions. Did you try to do a ritual and it didn't work out? Well, roll on Mystic Backlash to see how it goes. You need something to go crazy? Here's a major plot twist, right? And then he's like, by the way, go find any oracle you want. Use as many oracles as you want. Go crazy. Go everywhere. And we all do, solo players. And then, just he could have ended the book here. He could have ended it right here. This could have been the end of the book. But instead, he goes into this fantastic primer, basically. This whole thing here, right, is, hold on, he's got some gameplay options, so we'll hold off on that. All of this, right, 193 to page 229, is just helpful text on how to solo roleplay, right? Create your world, make your vows, right? Envision your inciting incident, set the scene, right? Create a quest outline, right? Set something up for yourself. And this, Eric Bright, who wrote Ironsmith, which is a bunch of fan-made content for this, really goes heavy into this and talks about, creating an outline for your thing. And then he talks about how to lead and follow with the fiction, how the mechanics in the fiction flow together, right? The fictional framing, how structure can make the narrative flow and make it better. Right? And then we get into representing difficulty, zooming in and out, right? Managing your quests. What do your quests look like? How would they... Just fantastic discussions. I love it. And then, undertaking new quests during your... Here's unrelated quests. Here's a delayed quest. Intersecting quests. Fulfilling your vow. All of this is fantastic. And this is a great quest flow chart to sort of keep you on track. He gives you so many tools. If you're brand new to this hobby and you haven't done solo RPG stuff before, you're still going to get a little flummoxed. You're going to be a little... There's like this weird thing you have to get past. This like, am I doing it right thing where you kind of fuck with yourself, and like, you will get past it though. And here's the thing. You are doing it right. You're not doing it right. It doesn't matter. The rules are supposed to be a framework, not a cage, right? So you're fine. You're fine. You can't do it wrong. You're not cheating. It's fine. Do whatever you want to do. So then you have principles, playing as GM, and then he's got some gameplay options. So you can like, here's how to do a quick one-shot with some people using Ironsworn. Here's scene challenges. So having like scenes that have progress clocks, which is very much like Blades in the Dark uses a lot of clocks in that game. And I don't know whether or not he sort of was inspired by that or not. I don't know which came first. I think Blades in the Dark came first. But a semi-random campaign setup, something really quick. Hacking Ironsworn. We will get into that. There's a lot of cool stuff to hack Ironsworn with. Skipping with not using assets, rolling instead of assets, reskinning assets for different setups, right? And then, just because he's just a helpful SOB, here's like one more section where he just gets into an extended example of play to make it easier on you. And because we all wish everybody had indexes, there is a good index in the back of the book, and it ends with this badass sword. And the book quality here, I ordered this one through print on demand from Drive-Thru RPG. It's a great book. It's a good quality, sturdy book, and it's a great read. I've read this book, seriously, I've read this book cover to cover probably 3 times, which is, I was going to say more than I can say for any other game, but I've definitely read Starforged even more than that. It's just so great. And so I have a huge debt of gratitude to Shawn Tomkin and his creation in Ironsworn. I do this a lot. I feel like I'm like a guy from the 70s with these new glasses I have. And yeah, just a huge debt of gratitude for him and this game that he created, and then the things that came after it, as a result. I'm gonna probably end this one for tonight, and then the next time I talk, we're gonna delve into Ironsworn Delve and the way that it uses a whole new system of cards, and basically he came up with a way to add deep dungeon dives, creative, adventurous, explorative dungeons into Ironsworn in a way that's very, it just clicks, it works really good. So we'll talk about that, and eventually we're going to talk about Eric Smith and his stuff, and then we're going to talk about all the other crazy shit I've collected for Ironsworn. But for now, we are going to stop. So stay tuned for the next one where we really go down the rabbit hole of Ironsworn. Thank you for joining me. I just felt like playing with my toys, and I thought you might enjoy playing as well. So, all right, well, fare thee well, gentle gamers. Carry on with courage, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.